Blowy here in Belfield, your Ivanhoe, and I'm with Kirsty and Pat. And Kirsty and Pat are from FarmRaiser. I nearly said fundraiser, but that's they're going to explain the name. And we're here at their actual growing site. Kirsty and Pat are also former Burnley students. They did the associate degree, and so watch this video in line with their presentation as well. So over to you guys. Where are we, and what's FarmRaiser all about?
So we're in Belfield, in between Heidelberg and Ivanhoe. Really, it's quite a small suburb. We're on a school site actually, Waratah Special Developmental School. We finished in Burnley in 2018. Doing the associate degree of agriculture. We were always looking, I guess personally, I was always looking for space to grow food. Always looking at, empty allotments or empty, housing blocks. And then came across this space that we're sort of standing now, doing a urban water management assignment. But I think it was just the lawn in
Sure,
I'll
I'll pan around and have a look, even though it's very bright.
Yeah, that's the school there. And they had this, what turns out to be an 1.5 acre space. Used to be a cricket oval, now part of the school. The school's quite young. I think it's about 10 years old. It replaced the Banksy Latrobe Secondary College. I think when Kennett was selling off all the schools, it was him on that side. I don't know, one of them. And they built this special developmental school that replaced, I think, Brunswick Special Developmental School, or is now a sort of an outpost of that. And I got chatting to the principal or the vice principal then.
As you do, Pat.
Yeah, just chatting and sort of asking about the space that we stand in, and like a lot of the staff didn't even know it was theirs. It's just been fenced for say 9 to 10 years and mowed, 3 or 4 times a year. And got chatting and proposed this idea of an urban farm. Back then it was maybe not what it is now, which sort of meeting Kirsty and Charlotte, who's the other part of FarmRaiser. We were able to form this now registered charity called FarmRaiser to eventually farm the space. We thought we were going to start 2 years ago, and then we thought we were going to start 1 year ago, and now we're definitely going to start September.
Yeah, and the name is really interesting, FarmRaiser, and what's the the thinking and the theory behind that?
The theory behind that is that so we actually did a course with the City of Melbourne called the Local Food Launchpad, which was super helpful in just framing, like Patty had the idea about being able to use this space, and the school was really interested because they'd been trying to get funding to use the space and develop it, but couldn't get it. So this was a really good way for them to sort of sidestep around that. So the Local Food Launchpad allowed us to look at the needs of the community, the needs of the space, the needs of the school, and through that we had lots of conversations and did lots of interviews with people in the community and other school principals, and it was this question around fundraising in schools and how much they're dependent on it for extracurricular activities for the students and other things. And so we thought, as a way to tie in the farm space and the food production side of it will always be part of the curriculum, but to extend on that is to have a portion of all of the sales of the food goes back to the school for either more horticultural training or more like home ec kind of classes or food related things. So it's being a not-for-profit, we wanted to always set it up as a not-for-profit, but being able to tie some of that income stream back into school means that it's selling veggie boxes to...
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing idea. And you guys, because obviously I was sort of around when you were setting it up, you guys put a lot of effort into setting up the structures first, which I think was a really interesting, good idea. So you are already a registered
which that's a
charity.
Credit to that Local Food Launchpad that we did. That was very much about do the research first.
Yeah.
Get the ideas really, figure out what the needs are, because there was something that was really sort of drummed into us in that time, that so many people start businesses or start projects without actually identifying, they're trying to solve a problem.
Yep.
initially, but they don't either understand the problem well enough or have a good enough idea about how their solution is actually going to reach the people who need it. And so those customer interviews were
just we have dog and puppy action here. It's I've already had my distraction time, but now I'm going to go for it again. This is Rosie and Lola.
Meeting for the first time today. And so that was really drummed into us. It's like figure out what the problem is, what is your solution for that problem, and then build the business around that.
It's so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, look, the reality is historically a lot of charities and NGOs kind of just get established organically. People assume they know what the problem is.
They got really good intent, and they're trying to do really good things, but they, a couple of, a little bit of shape shifting or a little bit of, direction or strategy one way or another can really, I think, make or break whether something gets off the ground. And I think we've had huge success with fundraising. It's been a really easy part for us, and I think a big part of that is because we were able to frame the problem and the solution really well by spending so much time working on it, that then when it came to sort of telling the story about what FarmRaiser is and who we are and who the school is and the problem that we were trying to solve, which at the end of the day is the big thing was it's like urban ag is needed, and there's so much opportunity for it, but a lot of the time it falls on its face because of a lot of reasons, but a big part of it is that then it's not set up as an economically viable sort of business. A lot of the time it's done. It's like, oh, here's a really good space and let's grow some food because we need people in the city to see how food production works, and having local food systems is really healthy. But the whole the business part of it and the money side of it isn't often really well thought out. So that's where a big part of it was having a space this big, which is it's rare, but it's not impossible.
Well, from my perspective, sort of having watched these things now for about, 10 or 15 years, I mean, the default urban ag model for a lot of that time has just been, community gardens.
Yeah.
That's what urban ag is.
Yeah. Which when you have like a key person who's championing the project, or you've got some key volunteers, and they get burnt out and they move on, and the project falls under. So
that's right. Or it goes through phases of enthusiasm. So someone sees the site and it's a bit dreadful, and then they get into it. So but I think this bigger scale urban farming, at least in the city, is very rare.
Yeah.
So
and we've tried to build in a few financial things to help us become financially viable.
Yeah.
Being on essentially state government land, the school council was able to set the price of the lease per year, and it's a peppercorn, so we pay $1 a year for the lease. We're luckily enough to crowdfund, so we haven't gone into any debt so far.
Yeah.
And fundraise, and that's I think a big part of being financially viable.
Well, Kirsty just mentioned that you fundraised early, and that you mind sharing some of that, because it was pretty amazing.
So I think the first part was the crowdfund.
Yeah.
Was a couple of years ago. It was wrapped up within the local food launchpad program, so it culminated in a pitch night for pitching our crowdfunder, which we came up with, I think, close to $15,000, which has paid for our BCS tractor and tools, and paid for some. We might have paid for something else.
Yeah, the tools. It was mainly the tractor.
Yeah, mainly the tractor, which has been a big help already. And then we were able to get in touch with Craig Langdon, our local councillor for the Olympia Award, who took a real liking to us for whatever reason. And
because you're not likeable at all, so that's
And was always saying, "Oh yeah, we'll try and get you in the budget for 2021, or sorry, 1920." And we thought, "Oh yeah, that'd be good." We never knew how much. And suddenly, the draft plan comes out, and it's $100,000. So that was the next tick off, and then that had no restrictions on how we spent it. Actually, it had a little. We had to spend one-to-one funding with Melbourne Water on the irrigation system.
Oh, okay.
So that was $50,000 from Melbourne Water and $50,000 from the council.
Yeah.
That was up in the 100. but we treated it as keeping it like taking water off the roof of the school to use on our farm.
Because I guess this all ends up in Darebin Creek here, does it? I suppose.
Yeah, it does. Patterson, yeah, it does end up in Darebin Creek. That's right. Yep. Yeah. And then we were also lucky enough to put in a grant for the Patagonia, the clothing brand.
Oh yeah.
So they had an environment grant, and it just so happened to be that they're looking to fund more urban ag projects, and so they've funded our cool room and greenhouse nursery for $20,000.
So this is an amazing amount of money. It just means.
Oh yeah, Nelson Alexander for 20 grand. They have a foundation day and they sell a house.
So when are you guys just going to run away to South America when or whatever?
But it's it's crazy how much like we're at the point now where all of our infrastructure is all like we've got probably 4 projects on the go, infrastructure projects.
Yeah.
And we're out of money. It's like
oh really? Yeah.
I mean, we budgeted so that it was we could fit. We knew how much we needed to get the farm going and get operational.
Right.
And we got there, but it's like we budgeted pretty well, really. For, like we're bang on, but it's at the same time. We're not skimping on like it's going to be one of like a really really good irrigation system and really good like it's going to slow down so much water before it hits the creek, and our washable packs shed could just be like a little tin shed, but with a bathtub, but we'll have sinks and a couple of spin machines.
So you were saying you
proper locked up shed so that then things are secure and
it's important in an urban environment. If you're in a rural environment, you can put something up quite easily and quite cheaply. But across the road we've got we've got a street view. We've also got the school. So we
my dog's just on the other side of the
oh yeah, go for it.
So we need to have things look good, I think, and have things be able to store things away. And so part of that is maybe spending a little more money than we need to in a rural environment.
Sure, because there are just those. They're just perception pressures, aren't they? Partly, I guess, or also rule regulations, right?
There are, and so I think we've gone through a lot of bureaucracy with the big education department in getting the lease agreement. It's actually we're going through changes right now to it because the legal department didn't speak to the property department, and they were trying to put infrastructure on, which was allowable with the old lease agreement. Now we need to sign a community joint use agreement, it's called, which now we need council permits for infrastructure. In the previous lease agreement we didn't, and so that's our main delay right now.
So the permit process is council and Department of Education, or
the permit project is just council.
Oh, okay.
Which normally you wouldn't need on state government land.
Right.
With this new they call it a CJUA community joint use agreement, you do need council permits.
Yeah, I think this is a really important point that people often forget. I know that when 3,000 Acres set up, whenever it was, I don't know, nearly 7, 8 years ago, their first little project at the back of shop, which was going to be apartments in Little Smith Street, it was a lane.
I remember that.
It triggered a planning permit. Just putting, what do you call those things? What do they call those?
IBCs.
IBCs, right? And then, of course, Fair Share and Big Track, which again is government land, like Department of Education, that triggered a planning process too. And of course, so you just have to be aware, I guess. That's going to happen.
That's the loophole. So state government can put, and the school can do whatever they want with this space, but a community group, third party, can't. So, they have to abide by the planning rules.
Once leased.
So the school, if they wanted to build all the stuff that we're doing, wouldn't need it. But we do. So that's the loophole that we found out.
And I'll just keep this very first video, as a sort of bite-sized chunk. But before I stop it, just tell me about the sort of, I guess, the big ambition, or this isn't theoretically wouldn't just apply to this one school, right? Like it's your model could be rolled out.
Yeah, we've treated it as a pilot program.
Right.
Don't tell education department.
Okay. This will be on YouTube, and no one will see it. All right, just so you're aware.
Yeah, I guess we want to treat this as a pilot program to potentially roll it out to other schools.
Or other parcels of land.
Yeah, or other
this
parcels
size,
of
so
land.
it could be, local government land or even privately owned.
Yeah. I
bigger
know
parcels.
on the lecture slides it has a couple of views of other special developmental schools around Melbourne, which seem to have like quite large parcels of land. I think that there's a lot of 1-to-1, 2-to-1 teaching, so the footprint doesn't need to be that large for the school itself. The vocation of teaching that they can do it on site is a big plus for the school itself.
Okay.
I guess it'll take a while, but the idea is hopefully expand this to other schools.
And even just document like the stuff that we've learned, like all that the stuff around the planning and the rules, like what hoops have to be met, what hoops have to be jumped through in order to get to where we get the project to, and have that all written out and documented, so that then other people can access that and not have to take us, go through the same.
That stuff is
processes.
always really helpful.
Yeah.
Just out of interest, do you think that the pandemic and the experience of the lockdown and everyone panic buying, have you had any sort of inquiries, or just even pick up a bit of a vibe that people are going, oh my god, this is actually a really good idea?
I know that speaking to a couple of other small scale farmers, their interest has spiked.
Right.
So they actually can't produce enough food for what they're being asked for. Sort of local boxes have exploded. Us personally, we haven't had that much interest. We've sort of been pretty quiet on, I guess, social media and email and things like that until we get started again.
Sure.
I think it's only growing, the sort of small scale food stuff, especially in Melbourne.
Look, and we'll see how it all rolls out in the next year or two, whether this whole discussion of supply chains, including food, really kind of brings government back into the idea of helping people like yourselves or whatever. So, all right, we'll just stop this one now, and then we might go over and have a look at the crops to be.